What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another Battlefield 6 gun guide. In today's episode, by popular request, we're going to be moving into the LMG category and covering the DRS-IAR, also known as the M27 IAR. And starting it off as always, let's have a look at our raw power potential. And our rate of fire is quite fast for an LMG in this game at 771 rounds per minute. And this gun will be a 4 to 6 shot kill depending on our range. As for our time to kill potentials, we are better than average across the board for the LMG category. Up close, we're killing in just 233 milliseconds, which is a very solid and competitive time to kill. And when it comes to headshots, without using any of the special ammo, it's going to take us 3 headshots mixed in with body shots to reduce the number of shots to kill. So headshots are not all that effective by default. However, we can use either hollow point or synthetic tip ammo to reduce the number of shots required to 2 at all ranges. And speaking of ranges, let's have a look at the range comparison here. Our 4-shot kill range extends out to 21.25 meters, whereas our 5-shot kill range will extend all the way out to 75 meters. These are pretty standard drop-off points that align with most of the LMGs in the game, with a couple exceptions. And once again, you can see within these ranges, we've got a very solid time to kill potential relative to most of the other LMGs. As for a muzzle velocity on this, it's pretty much just right in the middle of the LMGs. It's right around average at 720 meters per second, and that's quite a solid base muzzle velocity to have in this game. And then when it comes to hipfire, based on a bunch of feedback I've been getting, I've decided to change up how I display this a little bit more. Since there's no real variation between guns within a weapon category, I thought I'd just show all the weapon categories here. And unsurprisingly, LMGs have the worst hipfire spreads out of any of the weapons in this game. And this gun is no exception here, so hip firing, not a great idea with this gun unless you're like point blank range. And now let's get into recoil, and this gun does have a bit more recoil than average for the LMG category in this game. It does kick upward with a bit of a lean to the right. Realistically, I don't really have much of an issue with this recoil, so while it's obviously not the most accurate LMG out there, and it may not be the most effective at like extremely long ranges because of that, at the end of the day, I don't really consider this recoil pattern to be a major downside with this gun. It's totally fine in most normal ranges in my experience. Next, let's have a look at our handling stats. And this is an area where the IAR actually excels in the LMG category by default. We have an aim down sight time at 300 milliseconds, which is tied with the RPKM as being the fastest in the LMG category. However, our sprint out time is standard for an LMG at about 300 milliseconds. And the big downside to using this relative to the other LMGs is our magazine capacity. This is just 30 rounds, so more like an assault rifle than an LMG. But it's not all bad because our reload time is also more like an assault rifle than an LMG. It's by far the fastest in the LMG category at just 2.47 seconds, or if you're using one of the fast mags, it'll be 2.18 seconds. So overall, when it comes to this section, you can clearly see it's designed to be sort of like an LMG assault rifle hybrid statistically, where it's got some characteristics of an LMG and some characteristics of an assault rifle. And with that covered, we can finally get into weapon mobility, and just like with my hipfire graphic, again, based on feedback, since all of the weapons in a weapon class have the same mobility values, I decided to just show all of the weapon classes here in order, ranked from fastest to slowest, and once again, unsurprisingly, the LMGs are the slowest in this area, but really only when it comes to sprint speed if you're not using support. If you are using support, you get the same sprint speed as everyone else. And then our aim walking speed is also the slowest. When it comes to our regular walking speed and our crouch sprint speed, these values are the same as the others. And that wraps it up for all of the stats as they relate to multiplayer. Now let's have a brief section on REDSEC. Against 2 armor plates in Battle Royale, this gun is going to be an 8 to 11 shot kill, which is fairly standard. And what this means is our time to kill potential is 545 milliseconds up close. That's quite good actually in REDSEC. And then at a distance, it will increase up to 778 milliseconds, which is also not bad at all. This gun does fairly well in REDSEC. Although we once again have that one big downside, and that is a 30 round mag by default. But of course, you can use attachments to increase that. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into a couple excellent attachment combinations. And the first one I wanted to share for you guys is my preferred build. This is my balanced accuracy build, and I actually quite like this one. With it, we've got the OSA 7 optic, the standard suppressor, so we can stay off the radar for anybody that's beyond 15 meters away from us. For our barrel, we're using the heavy extended barrel. As always, if this barrel exists on a gun, it is an absolute no-brainer. There's no reason to use anything but this barrel, in my opinion at least, especially since it only costs 10 attachment points. So this one tightens up our spread a little bit while also improving our muzzle velocity up to 900 meters per second. For our underbarrel, we're using the stippled stubby, which helps quite a bit with recoil control while also improving our aim down sight time. And that's nice because I am going to be treating this more like an assault rifle than an LMG. For our magazine, I'm just using the 36 round mag because that's what we could afford combined with these other attachments. And that left 5 attachment points empty. And therefore, I just put those additional 5 points into the lightweight ammo, which just gives you a very slight improvement to your aim walking speed over the base ammo. And with this one, you can see our recoil is reduced a little bit here. It just makes it slightly easier to control due to that stippled stubby. And it's just a nice overall balanced build to use with the DRS, and it's why it's my preferred build to use. As for the second build I wanted to share for you guys, I wanted to make a proper LMG build. I really wanted to lean more in the direction of treating it like it's an LMG. So with this one, we've got my preferred optic if I want to zoom in just a little bit more. This is the ROM 1.75 optic. We've got the flash hider on this, so we're still showing up on the radar, but at least we don't have a diamond appearing above our head every time we fire our gun. We're once again using that heavy extended barrel. For our underbarrel, we've got the folding vertical, which only slightly helps with our recoil control, but we are pouring a bunch of our points into the next attachment, which is the 60 round mag. I know this is quite an expensive attachment to use on this, but again, I wanted to create a build that feels more like an LMG than anything else. And that's why we put the 60 round mag on there. And then finally, we're just topping this off with the standard ammo. And with this, it's still a reasonably accurate gun. I have no problem hanging back and picking people off at a bit of a range with this one. And it's also nice having that larger magazine. It just allows you to suppress enemies a little bit better. And there we have it. That's gonna wrap it up for today's gun guide on the DRS-IAR. And when it comes to my thoughts on this gun, I do want to be very clear that I really like this gun. I think it's a very solid choice in this game. However, I'm not really understanding the level of hype surrounding this gun right now. Like, a lot of people wanted me to cover this. It seems a lot of people are talking as if this is like the best gun in the game right now. I don't know if some other content creator or content creators have made videos talking about this gun recently or something, which is the cause for all this hype. But I'm just not quite understanding why people think it's like the best thing out there right now, when, in my opinion, it's just an above average gun. It's good, it's solid, it's fairly easy to use. I just don't think it's like the best gun in the game right now. Now, of course, these are just my opinions on this, and this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about the DRS-IAR in Battlefield 6's current state? And also, I just want to reiterate, for this series going forward, I am still open to suggestions. Like I said, I saw lots of people wanting to see this episode, so I pushed this one to the front, and I'm happy to do that for other guns going forward. So if there's a particular gun you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. And if I see a lot of interest around a particular gun, it will get pushed to the top of the list. Also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Gun Guides, I will of course leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. And if you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.